Welcome to today's episode. We're going to take a quick look at a community navigating some giant crossroads, Haldimand County, Ontario. This is a place standing at the intersection of deep-rooted history and some powerful demographic and economic shifts.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here and to unpack this fascinating region, right in Ontario's Golden Horseshoe. There are so many layered challenges and opportunities in Haldimand that really reflect what's going on in regions far beyond.
Let's dive right in. I want to start with that sense of history. Haldimand isn't just any county. There's a unique foundation set in the early land grants and relationships, right?
Absolutely. The county was carved out of lands granted to the Six Nations, with Loyalist settlers arriving on incredible 999-year leases. That's a framework built on partnership and perhaps some tension too. Over time, this helped create a fiercely self-reliant community, proud of its distinctive identity and local traditions.
And those traditions go deep, including a fiery political culture. Local elections in the 19th century were wild, right?
They really were. One standout was William Lyon Mackenzie's win, a leader from the 1837 rebellion. That kind of robust engagement and public scrutiny really continues to inform how folks in Haldimand relate to change.
Speaking of change, there's been a startling amount of it lately, with the population growing rapidly, almost 8% just over the last 5 years. But the county's also aging.
It's a fascinating contrast. The median age is now over 43, with more than a fifth of residents over 65. And while there's growth, the community remains culturally pretty homogeneous. This all points to a larger trend we're seeing called equity flight.
Can you break that down? Equity flight?
Sure, it basically describes older homeowners, particularly from pricier areas like Greater Toronto, selling their homes and moving somewhere more affordable like Haldimand. They pocket the difference, often bringing sizable assets, but that changes the landscape of needs in the area.
So more demand for senior care, health care, not so much for things like new schools?
Right, exactly. The local economy will need to adapt to this shifting population, and although new residents bring capital and spending, what's key for planners is the demographic details. That's what guides infrastructure planning.
Let's talk jobs and industry. Haldimand has this kind of two-pronged engine, doesn't it?
Yes, on one side you've got heavy industry, Stelco, Imperial Oil, those big names in the Lake Erie Industrial Park. On the other, there's robust agriculture with hundreds of active farms. Tourism is also on the rise, drawing over 500,000 visitors a year.
But the middle, the medium-sized enterprises, seems to be missing. Why does that matter?
That gap matters because it means fewer diverse, higher-paying jobs and pathways for entrepreneurship. The result is an economy pulled between major industry and small business, without that middle layer to make it more resilient.
Speaking of resilience, the public transit debate hit a snag recently, right?
Exactly. The Route 100 transit pilot just failed, low ridership, and that's a big deal for an area with a growing senior population. Without good transit, places like Haldimand risk leaving older residents isolated and communities even more car-dependent.
Then there's the biggest flashpoint, the Nanticoke development, 15,000 new homes. This would double the population.
It's huge. The benefits, on paper, are tempting. More affordable housing, new facilities, and claim tax windfalls. But controversy swirls, especially over the use of a minister's zoning order or MZO to push through changes without full local input.
And it isn't just local government split. Indigenous voices and community leaders are also raising signals.
Completely. Concerns span from land use conflicts and potential strain on local services all the way to the process itself feeling undemocratic. No feasibility study has been done to really balance promised revenue against new costs. That leaves a lot of people in limbo.
That's really the heart of it. How does a community chart a course between honoring its history and embracing change?
And how do you ensure that change works for everyone without losing what makes the community unique in the process? That's the balance Haldimand and so many places now face.
Maybe the big takeaway is this. Growth at all costs isn't free. Without a unified, community-driven vision, the very things that draw people to a place can be at risk.
And that's why these crossroads are so important to discuss, so we can move forward thoughtfully and together,